All right, here we are again. Hey, Remy, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. So this is Addie and Remy, and this is Suburban Sex, where we're just going to chit chat again about our lovely suburban married, sometimes vanilla with sprinkles. We'll see. Sex lives. So how was your sex life, your week, your life overall this week?
Well, my lovely partner is on the line. So we have Reagan with us
Mhm.
on this episode. So, Reagan, how
Reagan!
was the week in terms of sexy,
Hey.
sexy stuff?
I love
Thank
it.
you. You guys are too kind. Um, it was pretty good. Friday night was pretty good.
Ooh, that sounds really positive. Let's keep
It was
going.
really positive. It we had some herbal support and
Oh.
enhancements. And
We tried
yeah,
this new strain of indica. It was called Orange Push Pop, which just might be my new favorite sexy time
pretty good.
herb. So,
What?
yeah,
It
it
was
was
Oh
it was
my
pretty good.
goodness.
You're a
very
fan.
good.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay, that's okay. There's indica and there's another one, right? You got to give me the lowdown on the differences
Sativa.
between the two.
Sativa
Yeah.
is what we had in Monterey.
Okay.
That I will never give anyone anything ever again. And if I do, it will definitely not be sativa.
Where one
Sativa's
of our
what you
friends,
take when you're
yeah.
in Disney and you don't want to be on the couch. You just want to like go and explore and be like a kid. But
No,
you don't want to take a lot, just
you don't
enough
want to
to.
say that. We're going to be at Disney doing this. Like, come on.
It was a great experience the last time I used sativa at Disney. I was
I know,
stressed.
but you don't
I
want to
took
tell people that.
oh,
Don't worry, we'll cut all this out. No, we won't.
we
It was
never
just a
cut
little
anything
nibble.
out,
It was a little nibble.
A
and it
little
helped.
nibble.
All right, back to Friday. We had some indica.
Okay.
Was
Wait. So which one? Okay, the sativa, does that get you more hyped up or more
more of a head high,
a head high?
where
Okay.
indica's more of a body high, where you're
Yes.
relaxed and you're present and you feel more.
Sativa, you feel it more in your head. Indica, you feel it more in your body, and it's very relaxing. So, like, think of that feeling when the wine hits just right,
Okay.
you know? And
Mhm.
it's like you feel like your body like stop tensing, and it's just like things are kind of loosey goosey. That's what indica does. And sometimes it can make you really silly and laugh hysterically about a bunch of nonsense, which is
Okay.
my one of my favorites.
So
I
this
love
orange
that.
push pop I found, it was supposed to be it's supposed to have features of making you more euphoric, and then
Okay.
it's also
Check.
supposed to make you feel more sensual.
Check.
So
Okay.
I saw
Hey.
those were at the top of the list. I said, I'm buying it. That sounds
Mhm. Did
perfect.
you
It
buy it
like
in
opens
bulk?
up it like
I guess I
opens up
need
your
to.
nerve endings or something. Like it just you feel things you wouldn't feel on like without using it, and it feels nice.
That sounds
Here now
amazing.
Are
the
y'all talking about
pro
gummies or
pot.
smoking?
This was actually smoking. We had a little bit of
Oh.
gummy just while the kids were awake. We didn't want to get too far into it. We were watching Elf, which was way funnier on the gummy. I mean, it's a
Mm.
small part of a gummy, but it made
A
Elf
nibble,
so good.
okay?
Just a little
A
nibble.
nibble.
Do y'all have
Mhm.
like a pipe or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Just
And
wondering.
then once the kids fell asleep, then we went to the garage, had a little bit, and did our
Okay.
thing.
And then just laid in
Wow.
bed and watched TV for about an hour, and then we were like, "Hey,
So if you can
Hey,
stay
you're
awake
there.
and not pass out, you could be in for a good time.
Interesting.
But
No.
what was unique about this, it kind of reminded me of another story that you mentioned to me as we were kind of prepping for this. But
Mhm.
I was feeling it where I wasn't necessarily motivated. I was just
mhm.
just
He was
content to
here."
just lay there and
Yeah.
smile.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden I looked up and she didn't have any pants on. And she was ripping at my pants. And I'm like,
I
well,
was.
what do
It's
you
all coming
do?
back
I
to
guess
me
you go
now.
with it, you know?
And
And
he's
I'm
just like all laid out, relaxed. And I'm like trying to yank his underwear off. Like, we're doing this thing, boy.
so I
Opportune
felt like I was
time.
used a little bit in that, but
Yeah, you
hey, I
did.
went with it. So I enjoyed it. It was
Mhm.
good. Phenomenal.
That is
You want me
so
to use you. If I could use you every day,
Oh, yeah. You'd be fine with
you'd
that,
be the
Remy.
happiest man on planet Earth.
Mhm.
Please
That's right.
Mhm.
use me every day, is Remy's attitude.
That's how Brad would feel as well.
Yeah.
No, that's so interesting. So we've I have no idea what kind we've used, but we've tried gummies in the past. I know Delta 8s. Um I don't know exactly what else. So it's kind of a hodgepodge mixed bag. But we continue to think wine is our go-to
Mm.
over weed because the few times we've done anything weed related, even Delta 8 is similar. We either giggle in bed,
Mm-hmm.
like you said,
Mm-hmm.
or we are so glued to the bed
Mm-hmm.
that I can't
Bedlock.
move.
Yeah.
Bedlock, is that a term? Okay.
I
I
think
don't
that
do this enough to
the
know.
clinical term is couch lock because
Okay.
typically, like, you're
Clinical.
sitting on a couch with your buddies
Yeah.
smoking. However, that is not us because we have children and
Right.
they have to go to night night and until we can do such activities. And even
Mhm.
then, it's within a small amount that is acceptable, right? Because we are still parents and responsible. So,
Well, yeah.
like, we have to have somewhat of our wits about us to some
Yeah.
I
degree.
think the herb, like if you're smoking the actual flower, it is probably more effective for intimacy. Where the
Yeah.
gummies, they're a little more unpredictable in terms of how you're going to be hit.
Okay.
So they can kind of really lock you down. Where
Mm-hmm.
if you just smoke a little bit from the pipe, it's a more manageable feeling.
Interesting.
Turn this into the sex podcast with weed. It's the
Yeah, I
weed
know, right?
podcast now, sir.
I know. Well, hey, we're exploring all ways that get us horny.
That's
That's
right.
really what this is all about. No, the last time I smoked something out of a pipe, I thought it tasted so disgusting. I spent a couple of seconds coughing and then I wanted to vomit. So it wasn't sexy.
Wait, are you talking about the dry vape thing that your dad gave us?
No, the pipe
Okay.
thing that we tried.
What pipe did
Was
we
it
try?
clean?
Wasn't there a pipe? Remember? The blue one.
It's the blue pipe,
You don't
Brad. The
remember?
blue one.
Where were we?
In our
Not the
backyard.
pink dildo, the blue pipe.
But maybe I am thinking of the vape thing
Okay,
of
yes,
when
I
I
remember
was
now. Yes. Okay, I
okay,
forgot we
see.
had that. We gave it away. That's
We
why
gave
we
it to
don't.
my dad.
Yeah.
My dad smokes
I think
more
you
than we
need
do.
someone that knows what they're doing
Yeah.
to guide you
I
on
guarantee you
your
it's not
journey.
Brad. It's not Brad.
You need a pot guide,
Mm.
Well,
someone that knows what they're doing because it's a
is,
very specific like technique.
Oh.
And
it
I'm
does it
And you
does
got to
take
keep the pipe
practice.
clean for
It,
sure. You
Oh, it
don't
was
want an
but
brand
old,
new.
crusty pipe.
It was brand new.
I think
All right, hot tub.
we've done it. We've tried it enough times to know it just doesn't really. It's just not our thing. I mean, it's
We haven't tried the orange push up one.
Yeah, I will say it
true.
hasn't really been my thing, and I've always just been like, no, I don't. I'm like you, Addie. I don't want to inhale, like, have smoke, and like I think
Mhm.
it's disgusting, and it smells disgusting, and it tastes disgusting. Like, and so normally I say no,
Okay.
and I would rather just have like a little bit of a gummy and just chill in the bed and watch something that's going to make me giggle. And there's a
Mhm.
time and place for that. But I will say, like, and normally I would never be like, yeah, let's do that again. But I was like, we got to do that again because it was just that good. And but it took me a while to get used to like the inhaling and the holding it in and when do I exhale, and it's like it's too so it's a lot of steps.
Oh,
Um
okay. That's why I need a
but
guide.
You need it. Yeah. So it's like you there's a certain way you hold the pipe and then you light it and you hold the little hole. That's what she said. And then you light it and then you inhale and then you hold it, but you don't inhale too much because if you inhale too much, then you will cough. And if you
Yeah.
hold it in too long or if you get too much, you will cough. So it's like all like a very specific kind of
Oh.
thing that you have to like kind of figure out how your body does it. But man, I will say like that was probably some of the best sex we've ever had on Friday.
Wow.
Like for me, as far as like me being able to feel pleasure in ways that I don't normally, um, it kind of opened up my senses and opened up my nerve endings and just kind of like I was able to like feel things and receive things in ways that I just don't because I have a brain and my brain gets in the way of my pleasure
Yeah.
where this removed my brain from the equation.
Oh my gosh.
We will
So,
be your
did
spirit
you
guides.
I
did you
love it. I
happen to
know.
read any of the notes or the article I sent on the differences between weed and alcohol this week as we were kind of talking about the show? I know you had a
Yeah.
crazy week.
Yeah, it's been crazy. But yeah, go for it. Give us the
So,
synopsis.
well, one of the things that they were this article was comparing weed versus alcohol, and the study was by a vibrator startup called Lioness, which so that's kind of
Mm.
hilarious. That
Wow.
so vibrator company put this study on weed versus alcohol, but they surveyed 430 people. 66% of the people surveyed said cannabis makes orgasms more intense.
Mm.
Comparedly,
Mm-hmm.
only 2% of people with alcohol said that, where most people talked about how alcohol has a numbing effect. So sometimes that's positive because you can last longer, but it desensitizes the body, where cannabis kind
Mm-hmm.
of makes you a little bit more feel more, where I guess you're more present versus alcohol where you're just numbed out.
I can absolutely see that. And I've had that experience before, pre-Brad. Yeah. But
You dated someone before Brad?
I
That's not right.
know, gross. Never again.
Okay.
No,
Tell us more. I haven't heard this yet. Go ahead.
oh, well, it
I'm
was
listening.
many moons ago, so I don't remember much, and I was obviously high. But it was the first time I'd smoked weed, and I felt the same way. I felt like it was enhancing everything around me, and it was just making it more like I could feel it more, and it was
Mm-hmm.
very intense and whatnot. And it was probably the best sex I'd had with that partner.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd kind of I have felt that, but I I I haven't felt that since. And we've
Was that
tried
smoking or was that a
smoking.
gummy or
That
okay?
was smoking, yeah.
She means orgasm. She hasn't had one since.
Oh my god. And that's why I have a sex podcast. um
Suburban sex worked for me.
yeah. um but yeah, so I know I've felt it before, but it's been so many years, and every
Yeah.
time we've tried it before, or whether it's smoking or vaping or the gummies, I haven't quite felt that same
Mm-hmm.
sensation per se, but I don't know if it's just the weed or what have you, or it just could be Brad. It's probably Brad.
I don't think we've gotten very high.
Right. That's
I'm
When's
Doesn't
your
like,
sound
next
like
trip to
it.
California? We
I
need to
remember,
mhm.
get you a
I,
little closer. We
I
can change
know.
that.
We need to come
I
out there.
remember our California trip. Was it
Mm.
California?
Oh,
Yeah.
Tahoe.
The Tahoe trip, and I was
Yeah.
just totally. What's the word when you're so high that you can't even see straight?
Yeah,
Baked.
That's what I was,
you were
Baked.
definitely baked.
and that was
We
not
went
fun.
hard. KK was kind of enthusiastic, and we were all out there, and we went hard that night.
I
So,
didn't.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
Addie,
guess who didn't? I was pregnant.
Addie,
Yeah.
because she was walking around with the same glass of rosé
Yeah.
for an entire 48 hours.
fake.
And I was like, she's just lovely. but different. Um, it's because you were with child.
I was with child.
You were with child.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I don't think we've actually gotten really high together and followed it
It's
with
a bonding
sex.
experience. It will
I
bring
thought
you
we
I
had one of those
I think
times
it'll
we
bring you
had
We
closer
done a
together.
gummy.
we've barely gotten buzzed together with a
Mm,
gummy or a vape or whatever it was.
okay. I thought we had before, but I was bed
Blocked.
bound,
Maybe that one
blocked.
time you got high and I didn't, but
Yeah. Yeah. But no, I completely agree with the sensational aspect because with
Mm-hmm.
weed, you certainly can feel things differently. And with wine or anything else, you're not feeling it differently, but
Mm-mm.
you are calming your brain down a bit. And that's part of why I enjoy it at the end of a long week. But we're not getting any enhancements out of it. We're just
Mm-hmm.
getting kind of the numbness happening. And then you could take that a step further, and as we all know what whiskey dick is, that will certainly numb and not enhance by any means, but that's a thing. Right,
I
Brad?
don't know what that is. Do I know what that is?
It's basically when you just have way too much and you can't quite get
Doesn't
there.
work?
Things
never
just
heard of that.
yeah.
I don't think we've ever had sex when I've had too much to drink.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
we have.
Because
She
I,
she
I have
she
two
falls
modes.
asleep. I mean,
I have two modes.
I'm
I have
sorry. Wait,
dancing my face
stop.
off.
Stop.
I
Stop
don't
right
think we
there.
have.
You're telling me you've never had drunk sex with your husband and you've been married like 47 years?
Actually,
we have,
46 and a half. Thank you.
but I know. Look,
I
there's the
don't think
one
so.
margarita, three margarita floor. The thing is,
Floor.
with
Yeah.
her, you literally have to stop her at 3, and we
But
might
you
get some
can't.
action.
But
But
you
once
can't.
there's 4, I just
I
know it's not going
refuse.
to happen. I mean,
It's
she's
not
going
going
to
to
be
happen.
passed out. Some on
But
my
the
own that
problem
night.
is
Are y'all
when I
for
have
real right
three, I'm
now?
like, four
I'm
sounds like a good
serious.
idea. And if four sounds like a good idea, there's usually dancing involved.
Yeah.
And so I cannot stop dancing. And then I will stop dancing at some point because, I have to, they make me. And then I get home and I'm tired.
And I'm like, hey, bring back
And
some of that booty dancing you were just doing when we get
Oh,
home.
it's so
mm,
different. It's
Maybe
so
with
there's
some no
different.
clothes, do the
there's
same
only
dance.
one.
It'll be great.
I know. It's
I just I
weird.
just I just like, yeah, good night. I'll see you tomorrow.
I know.
I'll probably be hungover. Sorry.
Right.
You're not gonna have sex tomorrow either. Sorry.
I know,
That's
right? When
how it
you're super
goes.
hungover. Hungover sex
Welcome
is
to life in
hard,
the
but that
40s.
that can be that can be worth it when you push through. But no, when we were on our last trip, I had one of those moments where for tequila, floor or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and on the dance floor, I had to step away. I felt nauseous. I'm like, "Oh, I we have to go. This isn't working. We got to, I got to go home." And we go back to the hotel and we're talking for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, like, I wake up the next morning, I'm like, holy shit, what just happened last night? And I know what happened. I'm well aware of what happened, but I'm like so freaking shocked that he was able to get away with what he did because I know how wasted I was. And there's no way I would have
What did
done
you
some of
I
do,
that
think
when
hot
I
Brad.
was
tub
I think
Brad?
sober.
Brad's feeling pretty proud of himself right
He
now.
Oh, he
is. I
looks
see the
like he's proud of
smile.
himself.
So what did you do while she was passed out,
Okay.
son?
No, no,
Okay.
not all of that is
Everyone
permissible in
calm
court.
down.
Oh,
Everyone,
we got a good story coming.
I did nothing out of the ordinary.
Yes, you did. Oh, what?
Okay, there may have been a sex toy involved that wasn't normally involved, but
Yeah.
You can't give me that nothing out of the ordinary.
There's nothing wrong with sex toys in places they're not normally. It's okay.
she just let me just go to town on her, so I just kind of it was not a big deal.
So you
Get while
did.
the getting's good.
Okay. And, and- but all that to say, usually I'm the same way, Reagan, where if I'm real drunk, I just want to pass out.
Mm-hmm.
For Brad, when he gets real drunk, he gets real horny, but then it takes double the amount of time to
Mm,
get from A to Z. And
Desensitized.
sometimes I'm
And
just
you're
kind of like, nah,
and
no,
and
let's
you're
just
real
skip
drunk.
ahead.
So
Yeah,
how can you?
let's skip ahead to when
Yeah.
we're both hungover tomorrow, and
Mm,
that will be faster than right now.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's okay. But that's the difference of weed versus wine. We need to try
So
some orange pop.
You do.
yes, it's pretty yummy. So
10 out of 10 recommend.
I can remember times
I'm so
literally.
happy you're happy. This is good, girl.
I'm
This is
happy.
good.
I'm happy too.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
We got to find what works for us and
Whatever
cling on
works.
to that for dear life.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
before we move on, do y'all want to like give a little bit more information about like was it a multi-orgasmic night or was there anything is there any
Oh,
details y'all
he
want to
wants the
share
dirty
with
details.
Get
your
dirty.
family here?
She did share that there was another toy in places it's not normally. So
Oh.
not Reagan. Your story.
Oh, yes, I did share that. Yeah.
I would be okay with that though. Either way.
Yeah.
He just wants to do butt stuff, really. And I said I would
Don't they all?
consider it, and he has not stopped bringing it up ever
Yeah.
since.
Yeah.
And I regret saying that out loud.
I know. But you know what? It
there.
needs to happen. I will say that kind of stuff cannot happen when we are just stone cold sober in the middle of a
No.
weekday or what have
No.
you. Like,
I need
that
to
needs to
be not
be,
at my house,
yeah.
and I need some
Yeah.
type of support as far
Mm-hmm.
as like quieting my mind, relaxing my body,
Right.
whatever that looks like. I just can't do that on a Tuesday.
No.
I can't even do that on a Saturday.
No,
Any
girl.
time of day.
Not like a
I
normal
can't be here.
Saturday. Mm-hmm. That's
So,
not a normal Saturday activity.
not a normal Saturday.
Mm. You know what's funny? You know what's really funny is that Brad asked y'all a question and you veered so hard. You veered so hard away from that question.
What? Oh, I
You're bringing
apologize.
someone else up in our friend group
What was
instead
the
of
question?
actually
This is
answering the
Let's
question
go
at hand.
back. We
what
got
it's like
How
to
many
distracted
be
very
married to
easily.
Remy.
orgasms?
This is what
How
it's like to be married to Remy in a nutshell. You ask him a question and he totally distracts you with something else. And
No,
our
Brad
daughter
wanted
does
the
that too.
dirty details of why the sex was so good. So like your senses were heightened. What was it? Do you feel like it
Yeah.
lasted longer?
Yes.
Were there more orgasms? Like a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will go into he wants the dirty details.
Dirty.
Because that's my
So
husband.
I will say that, okay, just full transparency. I typically do not have orgasms from like normal sex. Like I need a battery operated
Yeah.
support feature.
Right.
She's a power girl.
And but I'm not saying that I'm a power girl because that's who I am. I think that it's kind of a crutch at this point, and so that's
Well, post kids, that's an okay crutch. That
right.
If it works, it works.
Right. And it
Yeah.
works. And I'm having orgasms whenever I want to because it
Right.
works, 99% of the time, it works every time.
That's right, girl.
So I have no qualms about that. I would like to experience other types of orgasms, but I'm also like not putting any pressure or expectations on myself to worry about that today. So I will say that as far as when that was happening, I got close to orgasming a couple of times without without my friends,
Nice.
without my besties. So just the fact that I was able to feel that way and get close more than once, and just to be pleasurable in so many different parts of my body, not even just like my genitals,
right,
is what I think was so great about it. And yeah, I do think it was a long, I don't know. I was not watching the clock. So we should time it next time. Just for science.
For science.
But I think part of it is
Remy's like, I get it next time.
Yeah, I got the time. It's all good. I mean, I've got more of the goods, so we can make that happen. But I think part of it is once it hits, all of a sudden, all the mental boxes are closed.
Right.
because you just don't care. I mean, we were sitting there laughing at Elf like it was the greatest movie in the world because, you just have no filter.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to being alone, you're just so relaxed. It's like you don't have all the things in
Mm-hmm.
your head that's stopping you
No
from
hang-ups.
getting
You don't
there.
have any hang-ups.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the biggest hurdle sometimes. It's just
I think that's the biggest hurdle most of the time
yeah. Yeah.
is just your brain.
Mhm.
And this helps you cut your brain completely out of it.
Right.
And you're only thinking about good things and happy things. You're not really even thinking about much of anything at all,
It's true.
Right.
honestly.
Well, I mean, you could compare like if you're having
Gosh, we sound like such druggies.
a fantasy experience where, hey, talk dirty to me. We're fantasizing. You're kind of in your head while you're doing your thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Versus this, you're not really in your head. You're just in the moment and totally present.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Welcome to Suburban Sex, the pro weed podcast. we have digressed a little bit, but it was helpful.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. And we're gonna have something that we use every once in a while for fun, but I think we're all very responsible adults, so we're just kind of adding to our repertoire of
Tool
enjoying
in
our
your
sex life.
toolbox.
Yeah, this is
So
our tool box.
when we were in our 20s, we would go out, and I do remember times where Reagan would pass out and she would literally say, just feel free to do whatever you want to me. Just don't wake me up. And we would have like sleepy sex where she was asleep. And she totally gave me permission to do such a thing.
No.
But now, as I've gotten older, I'm just like, I want her to be
Hell no.
perfectly on
no.
board every time. Number one, because she
Mm-mm.
likes to sleep even more than she did back then because she knew she could
Right.
sleep all morning the next day. Now we have kids. They're going to wake her up at 6 or 7 and come in and ask about snacks. And, hey, is it okay if I microwave this muffin, which I've done 1,000 times, but I just need
Mhm.
your permission.
Yeah.
Anyway, digressing.
Yeah.
So
Now
things change.
just a quick tidbit there. We bribe our kids with a sucker if they don't come into mommy and daddy's room until we leave the room on Saturdays and Sundays. And all day today, they've been like, "Where's my sucker? Where's my sucker?" But they
At the
had plenty
store.
of other treats, so whatever. But so far, it's working, even though I'm not even giving it to them.
Now this morning, I got up and locked the door before they could come in, just to, I had a feeling something would be happening, so it worked out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
smart.
because you were like, can we have the sex now?
Yeah, I love it. He had a
Did
feeling.
it?
Can we
He had a feeling
mod the
in his
sex?
penis.
Did it
He had a
We
happen?
mod,
It's gonna happen.
we mod the sex.
Are we talking about this morning?
Yes, this morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many times did y'all have sex this weekend?
Dos.
Dos.
Those.
Oh
Those.
yeah.
Yeah, baby. That's us,
How many
right?
times did you?
Yeah, we did twice. Ding ding.
Oh,
Ding
we're 2 for
ding.
2.
2 for 2,
We're
baby.
on the same
2
pattern.
for 2. Yeah, we're 2 for
No
2 as well.
enhancements this morning.
Yeah.
No. It's morning.
No, in morning time, you kind of just go with what you got. No, we tried to, and this is off topic. But we tried to use our new massage table this weekend, and that was a
You
bust.
got a massage table?
Yeah.
We
it was
finally
a
got
bust.
one, man. We got it.
Yes, sir. That's been on my list for a long time.
I
I'm
told
asking
him
one from Santa.
Santa doesn't bring gifts that big.
Oh, he does. He can fit
That doesn't fit
magical
in his
things down the
workshop.
chimney, man.
Are you gonna tell him what a fail our first
Yeah, it
try
was an
of the
absolute
massage
fail.
table was?
Did he not pull the
See?
sheet at the right rate?
I know, right?
No, I did everything perfectly. She just wasn't having it.
Usual.
She wasn't in the mood.
Okay. Yeah. So we've had a busy week. Not all of my mental boxes have been closed. It's Saturday night, and I I'm sorry. Right before all of this, we had dinner at Hibachi with the kids, and before that, we had family photos. Does everyone know how stressful family
Oh,
photos are for a mom?
one of the top 5 most stressful
Thank you.
things you
And
will ever
hibachi. I
do.
mean, you can't have a romantic moment after hibachi because that's just like
You're
too
so
much.
full.
Yeah, you're so full.
You gotta go to
I
sushi because it's gone after like 30 minutes. Not.
yeah.
But family photos are very stressful, let me
Oh,
Family
tell you.
photos are stressful as all hell. And
Yeah.
that's when you
every
need the
freaking
gummies.
year, every freaking year, I wonder why I do this. But then I see the pictures, I'm like, damn it, those are good.
Yeah. That's why.
So that's why. But
We do it for the memories.
that's
Somebody
right.
has to.
Yeah. And I'm going to forget all of the memories of me
Yes.
threatening every single one of those
Yes.
children because
You're just going
they,
to see their beautiful smiling faces.
that's
And you're
right.
going to be like, remember when they were like, they not that day, but that time of your life.
Mm hmm. Mm
That's what
hmm.
you're going to remember.
But that day
That
I was
season. Of
threatening every single one of them because all of
course you
them
were.
were bitching and moaning.
Because
So
you're a good mother.
that's right. You know what? That's right. So it
That's
was a
right.
stressful day. Then we had hibachi, and so I felt like just round and
Yeah.
full of
Ugh.
sodium.
Yeah.
And then I got into my PJs, and he suggests hot tub and massage. And I am already braless in my PJs and feeling like, nah, this is my happy place right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought, this is worth a shot. I'm open to both. So let's see how it goes. So we did the hot tub for a bit, and then he was watching the clock to make sure I wouldn't pass out. So he's
Smart
like
man.
thinking, okay, it's 9 o'clock, 9:30, whatever it was. I better go get the massage table ready. And it really was set up beautifully. He had the candles, he had everything so nicely done. He had the spa
Candles.
music and all of that. Oh yeah.
Barry White
Music.
playing or
Oh
spa
yeah.
music?
Music, candles, all of that.
Wow.
Really? He set the mood.
He set the
Interesting.
mood. He knew
And
exactly
do
what
you
he's trying
hear
to
the
do.
tone? She's like, you need to start setting the
Oh, there's
mood,
a
boy.
tone.
Yeah. I got to be better about setting the tone.
Remy, it's not hard to get some candles up in there. Get some
No, but I'll play
candles.
some 90s R&B or something,
Please don't.
Sometimes spa music is all you need
All right.
to close some boxes. But
Brad, I'm going to need you to share your playlist with him.
You need to give me some lessons. Apparently, I don't know how to set the tone.
Well, hold on. It didn't work. So
That's true. That's
Spoiler
true.
alert.
That's
Okay,
true.
but usually it does work. I will say, usually your playlists work beautifully.
I blame
But
hibachi.
I thank you. I blame family photos, but I blame both. Really, the combination of both feeling
Mm-hmm.
round and bitching at my kids was not really the recipe for success. But yeah, so we used the table for the very first time, and I kind of knew going into it this may be a fail, but I was trying, and so this also, I've been so stressed this week that when he said massage table, I wanted a massage, and instead he gave me, the sensual just touching. And after a couple of seconds, I was like, oh,
You
that's
went
what
straight
we're
for the
That
doing
clit,
kind of
huh?
here.
massage.
Did you steamroll the clit? Or did you warm everything
Yeah.
up?
I
Just
went
rolled
so
it.
slow, and let me tell you, I was waylaid on this whole endeavor. I was misinformed about what was going to happen or what was expected, because
Incorrect.
when I suggested it, okay, she said we were in the hot tub talking about this, and I said, "Hey, shall I go set up the table?" And she goes, "Oh, let me get into sex mode." Okay,
That means I'm not in it, Reagan, right?
but doesn't that imply that she's expecting sex?
Let
But
me
there
get
might
in
be
sex mode.
there might be steps to
And
get there.
then
We
I
can't just say
spent 20
Mhm.
ish minutes going very slow, sensual, touching, rubbing, all the things that she loved when we paid someone to do it. And all of a
because it
sudden,
wasn't her husband
and all
doing
of a
it, it was somebody
sudden, it's
else.
like,
That's what's hot
yeah,
about it.
I don't really want to do this. Can I get up now? And the real tragedy of it all is that I burned a Viagra on that night.
Shut up. You didn't tell me that. Oh my gosh.
Oh, are you okay?
I'm
Oh,
fine.
he's fine.
They're cheap.
I'm sure he worked it out later.
Yes, he did. I basically said, "You work it out, but just
You
not in
handle
this
your
bed because
business.
I'm really fucking tired."
Yeah.
Handle your business.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
we
my
do,
god, you
girls,
took a
don't you worry.
Viagra for that.
Well,
Oh.
the previous night, I
Oh
I
my
was
god.
I wasn't pleased with my performance, so I didn't want a replay of that.
Now,
Really?
have you ever
Yeah.
made the mistake of popping one of
Mm-mm.
those with alcohol? Don't do it. You get
Have you?
massive
He
headaches. I
only
tried it
That
one
drinks
time. It didn't work
alcohol.
out
that's
so
the only
well.
time I
That's
popped
the
When?
it.
only time he's ever done it.
It's been a while, but man, I just had a massive headache and just now I don't
Maybe you're taking too
ever,
much.
Are
ever.
you taking these and not telling me?
No, I haven't taken them in a while, but I have tried them before. Back when I was in a very, very stressed place, I would take them from time to time. But
Mm,
luckily, my mental health's a little better.
yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
had that
Yeah.
problem.
He's
I mean,
yeah.
I don't take them a lot, but like anytime I've taken one, I've never had a headache,
Okay, you're talking about the headache. Okay.
and I'm always drinking, so
Yeah, he is always
like
So
drinking.
I'm literally
maybe
always drinking.
Mhm.
maybe she just needed other types of touches before she could get to sexy mode, like a massage,
Mhm. I needed a massage. But you know what?
like a
You
real
know what
massage.
I didn't do, and this is for all of our listeners too, I didn't use my words.
Mm-hmm.
I
Got to
knew
communicate.
I knew the next morning if I had just told him, "Hey, skip the sensual touches because right now my neck's really bothering me or lower back or what have you. Could you just work that part out?" I feel like that probably would have gotten me there because it would have helped me actually ease into it instead
Mm-hmm.
of the whole time I'm thinking, "Oh, this isn't a massage. This is his
Mm-hmm.
window to
Mm-hmm.
sexy town."
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I was really looking for tonight, so I'm out.
You almost have to set the container. I mean, we don't have the massage table yet, but you'd almost have to set the expectation going in that this is massage time, or this is sexy massage time, or this is sexy time. Very different things.
Sure.
I don't think it's always easy to do that
It's
It's
not.
because,
I
like,
didn't
true.
know where I was.
yeah, and I feel like as women, we feel like it's our duty
Uh-huh.
to make sure our man stays satisfied and to provide him with a healthy sex life. And that's a lot of pressure, which I know Remy and I have done a lot of work in our marriage, but I think that there's still sometimes that playing in the background of our minds,
Mhm.
even if you've worked on it.
Well,
Right.
we've talked about it a lot that Brad and I, if you're not totally into it, we're typically kind of lose interest.
Yeah.
Where it's hard because it's a tough balance because you want to please us, but yet we're sensitive enough to understand when you're not into it or we're not going to push it.
Too
Mhm.
sensitive.
Sure.
There's different degrees of me being into it. There are different degrees. So
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like 100% all in, let's do it. We're aware that that's not often the case. I'm usually not like fully 100%, but I might be like 90% or 85%. Or sometimes I'm like, I know you need to have sex. I don't need to, but it's cool. I'll still do it because I know that you need to, and
Right.
I might get something out of it or I might not. But I'm okay with that either
Right.
way.
And it's worth a shot, but you don't
It's worth a
know
shot.
what you're fully getting yourself into. So to your point, Remy, on setting that container, I fully agree and I think that that's what we should do if we can to set the full expectation up front. But in my comment to Brad that night of getting myself into that sexy time, that was me saying aloud that I'm not there
Mm-hmm.
yet. I have
Mm-hmm.
the intention to. I knew it would be a good opportunity to because it's a Saturday night, the kids are down, all of that. But I I I just simply could not get there. And that
Mm-hmm.
happens.
It's
I
okay.
I
Yeah.
you can't predict it. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
I should have predicted it given that it was hibachi, Remy. So now I know. Brad will never take me to hibachi again.
Never.
So I don't. I think this morning. I mean,
It's
you
over.
you were definitely down, but at the same time, you weren't totally into it at first. But you warmed up and got into it seemed like.
I wasn't into it, but I was like, and you're like, okay, forget it. And I was like, no, like, you want to, the time is right. Let's do it. Let's just see what happens. Like, don't be weird about it. Like, don't make it a complicated, hard thing. Like, if my yes is yes and my no is no. If it's a yes, it's a yes. If it's a no, it's a hell no.
Yeah.
And and I feel like we've worked out enough in our marriage for you to know that. And if my yes doesn't mean, oh yeah, baby, like give it to me hard,
Yeah.
like there's different degrees of a yes.
That's true.
And my no means no, but my yes might not look like give it to me hard, but that just means you may enter my body. You have permission. What happens from there, I really can't tell you. But you may enter the premises.
Right.
Wow.
Oh my God, I love it. But it's true. It really is
Save
true.
that clip.
We have
You
a
may enter my body.
I know. I do love that. We do have a range of yes. You're right that no
Yeah.
means hell no. That's an easy one, but yes could be sure, fine, whatever,
Yeah.
because, we know it's a good time and this and that, it's an opportunity, but not often am I like, "Oh yeah, baby. Oh God, I want it
Mhm.
so
See, we
bad."
want
I
the
just don't. I'm a
enthusiastic
mom.
yes. We want you excited.
Yeah, but
That's what gets us going.
we're not
We're not porn
actresses.
stars.
We're not porn stars.
True.
No.
We're not in our 20s anymore.
That
True.
too. We're
You
that
knocked us up a
too.
couple times.
You say that. We're not in our 20s anymore. What's different between 20s and 40s other than kids? I mean, there's a lot, but kind of sum it up just kind of for some of the guys out there who are trying to get closer with their wives, but they also maybe haven't quite fully realized where the wives are at and why things are so different. I mean, I know the kids, it's obvious that that's different, but what else
Mhm.
is different in your life to help some guys out there who is trying to bridge the gap but are struggling?
I think we're going to need a full episode on that because I can't sum that up in like a sentence. But it's just, I think regardless of if you have kids or not, however long you've been married, as you age, your mental load becomes heavier.
Mhm.
Obviously, if you have kids, it's going to be, I would assume, heavier, but that doesn't mean that you don't have a full life if you don't have kids. I think any side of the coin, your mental load just becomes heavier as you age, as you get more responsibilities, as your parents age. All of those factors. Your body is doing things it never did before. I saw some wrinkles on my wrist that didn't exist before, and I'm gonna have to talk to my therapist about that. Um,
But
it's just the
workload
mental load.
too. We're
Yeah,
progressing in our careers, there's more
exactly.
responsibility, there's things like that.
Right.
Yeah. There's more.
All of it combined. There's just so much more going on upstairs
Right.
than what's
Right.
happened in our 20s. I mean, oh my gosh.
Mhm.
That
I
was
know
amazing.
there's a lot
No
less
wonder
of
you
that
fell in love
mental
with me.
load. Yeah, I know, and we worried about so much, or at least I did, but yeah, it's completely different now. But Remy, what I think is very different in a relationship that I have now with Brad versus anything I would have had in my 20s, even with Brad. Um, but it's completely different because it's fully intimate now. So it's not
Mm,
just have
yeah.
sex to be fun and spontaneous and this and that. Now we are being very thoughtful about what we like, what we don't like, how we like it, what we want to do differently, when we want to try new things, new toys, new this, new that. So that has been by far what has gotten us to the sex life that we have today, because we're constantly talking about it, and almost not every time we have sex, but very often, I would say 50%, maybe more, I don't know. We at least make some sort of commentary afterwards. What was good, what we liked. Hey, maybe do that differently next time. Hey, I liked how you said this, or what have you. But being a lot more open and intimate is I think, the key to improving our sex life overall. Otherwise, we would still be kind of guessing.
It's a sex reflection, a sex flexion.
Sex flexion. Write that down.
So, I mean, I think we love that. I mean, we definitely like that you're more aware of what you want and you own things, the process more. We do still miss that spontaneity of the 20s,
Spontaneity.
but maybe that's part of the issue is just uh, respecting where you're at, and understanding
Embracing
that
where you're
life
at.
is changing
Yeah.
as we get
No.
older.
I know. And I'm sure it's hard because you guys have seen that side of us before. You maybe had some sort of expectation, and that's our drinking word, but some sort of expectation in coming into the relationship, just like a woman who says that she really likes sports, and then once they get married there's no sports involved, or a woman who gives blowjobs when they're dating, and now when they're married there's never a blowjob to be seen again. I mean, there's so much of that
The old bait and
changes.
switch.
Yeah, you don't. I don't think the bait and switch is completely on purpose, but
Right.
I think for something like blowjobs, since that's what we talk about, I think that just needs to be part of the conversation of wanting it more, and or spontaneity. Where can you add in more spontaneity in your marriage when you have this mental load and you've got kids and this and that? I think that's where you take the vacations where you can take them. Brad
Mm-hmm.
and I had a lot of spontaneity when we were on our last trip. It was just it was oozing out of us. Now, has that been as often or as spontaneous since we've been back? No, but that's why you've got to take the chances when you
Right.
can, if that's what you're craving.
You have to plan time to be spontaneous.
Yeah, that sounds so married and suburban, which is
At least we're
exactly
still
what we're
having
here
sex.
for.
At least we're
Hey,
still having sex.
that's right. Well, Reagan, that was so much fun. I love that when you join us, please come back very, very
Always.
soon.
Yes.
And I appreciate your expertise in the orange pop and our little debate on wine versus weed. So that was very interesting. And obviously, we've got some fun homework assignments for us thereafter, so long as it's legal and used responsibly, right?
Come to Cali.
Um, and we will. We need a little trip out there. Until next time, we'll think of new ideas for you and add a little bit more spontaneity for you into the mix. But until then, we are wishing you all the best suburban sex.